Hey, it's Elisa. I'm the Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I am starting this reading with Mystical Shaman Oracle. I love this deck. It's really wise and really amazing, and it's being featured in every reading in April, and it's also, I'm giving it away. So one lucky subscriber is going to win this deck at the end of the month. I'm going to pull all the subscribers' names out of a hat, and one of you is going to win. So one thing I should note that is, if your privacy settings are such that you do not allow other people to be aware of your subscribership, then I won't be able to put your name in the hat. But somebody's going to win the deck, and I think you're really going to like this deck. So anyways, for today's reading, I've got the Arrow, the Upper World, and the Journey. Okay, so this is a really cool combination, and they go together really nicely. But so the Arrow, this has come up a lot in the last couple of months. But this is a card of just sort of like being in alignment. So, you know, you're in alignment with yourself, and you're in alignment with the world around you. And when you're in alignment, it's like all the forces of the universe are conspiring to make your intentions manifest, you know. So it's like when you pull the bow and shoot your arrow, it's gonna hit its mark because you're in alignment with the universe. So everything's conspiring to like make it happen, you know. So this is like a card of just being in your power, and it's really beautiful, you know. And that has been coming up a lot in the last couple months in the readings. But then we have the Upper World, and this is a card, you know, so this can be a card of, you know, what people think of as heaven, you know, because it's sort of like, but it's also just sort of like maybe receiving guidance from God or from your higher power about why you're here, you know, what is your mission, like why have you been put on this earth, you know, like, and this is inviting you that this is a moment to explore that, you know. And then the Journey, it's kind of the same thing, you know, but it's just sort of like on earth, you know. So it's just sort of like it's inviting you to push the boundaries on life as you know it, because it's time to take your hero's journey, you know. I mean, it's not time to play it safe anymore. Like, you've come into alignment with your destiny, you know, and you're in alignment with like heaven and like the angels and guides above you, you know, and it's time to step fearlessly into your destiny, you know. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go to Ethereal Visions to get some general cards, but it's interesting. So we get on the bottom of the deck, we get the Wounded Warrior, and for me, like what's really coming up for me is, so this really came out in a reading that I did a few months ago, right after my father passed away. And so I've been having this whole experience where it's like almost like my father, he's gone to the other side, but then the guidance that I'm getting from him now is like even more powerful, because he's like tapped into all that is. It's like, you know, it's like Star Wars, you know. And so this is kind of like indicating that you're getting guidance from the heavens, you know. And so that was like speaking to me, because my father was like, he was kind of like guiding me in a way on my own journey of like healing in my business and my vegan cheese empire, which is the thread on the channel. And anyway, so at the bottom of the deck, we get the Nine of Wands, which is like the Wounded Warrior card. And like, this is sort of like a baton that's been passed on to me from my father, because I've gone through all these trials and like tribulations and like near-death experiences that have happened in my life. And my father also carried that cross, you know, because he was wounded in combat, you know. He's a vet, and he was wounded in combat, and that's how he met my mom, and that's how I was born. And so it's just sort of like it's almost like this is our shared destiny. Like, this is a thing that we have in common. And anyway, there's been like a big evolution that's been like, you know, happening with that story for me, and like me like sort of like overcoming the oppression of like being like, it's like I'm like rising above the wounds almost, you know, so that I can step into this higher destiny. Like I feel like I'm supposed to be a healer, like I'm supposed to help heal the world. And so it's like things are starting to come into place where it's like I had to, like somebody told me yesterday, it's like almost like, because all these bad things keep happening, and it's just like, why do all these bad things keep happening to you? Like, you're a nice person, like we don't get it, you know. People keep saying that to me. It's like, do you have like karma from like a past life? Like, what the hell, you know? And it's just like somebody said to me yesterday, you know, like you're meant to overcome all of this, you know, because it's like whatever your soul path is, like I'm supposed to be a healer, like I'm supposed to help people to overcome these things. Like, that's why I had to walk through it myself, you know. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling, so like that's maybe more than you need to hear. But so for overall energies of the reading, we've got the Two of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. And so this is interesting because this Queen of Pentacles character has really been coming up in the Divine Feminine readings. And so that's a thread that you might want to connect with. But the Divine Feminine has been going through this whole period of being in separation from her divine counterpart. And there's been like all these oppressive situations around that's been sort of like blocking that destiny for her. But she falls right next to this Two of Cups. So it's almost like this love is finally coming in for this loving, nurturing Queen of Pentacles. However, on the other side of that, so she's being flanked by the love, and she's being flanked by this Five of Wands, which this is a card of chaos and conflict and a card of resistance. So, you know, there might be some situations, and this definitely speaks to that whole thread, the Divine Feminine thread, where there's people or there's situations that are blocking this from coming in. Like they are either jealous, they don't want it to come in, or, you know, it could just be, you know, circumstances that are blocking it, you know. But whatever this is, like, it's coming to the surface. So, you know, for a long time, like, this has been being oppressed from coming in. So it's just sort of like, maybe we're going to get some more clarity about what all this is that's been blocking it. So I'm going to go to this new deck, the Tattoo Tarot, and see if I can get a little bit more clarity about what's going on here in this situation. Because, yeah, like I said, this storyline has been playing out in the Divine Feminine thread for quite a while, quite some time. So let's see if we can get a little bit more clarity about what's going on in this story here. Interesting. But yeah, just a reminder, like I think I mentioned at the beginning, we're doing a giveaway. Mystical Shaman Oracle is the Oracle deck that we're giving away this month. And you can win. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel. There's a subscribe button at the end of the video that you can click if you so desire. Oh my gosh, okay. Wow. Wow, interesting. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck we have the Ten of Swords. So this is a card of oppression, you know, for sure. But it's also this, it's the end of that. It's the end of suffering. So whatever this is that's been oppressing, we're coming to the end of it. It's just like rock bottom, like you can't go any lower. There's only one way to go, and that's up. So it's interesting how these fell out, but we got the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and we got the Ace of Wands. So this definitely speaks to a situation where there's like two women, you know. So the Queen of Wands, you know, she's a manifester, and she's really, you know, she can take her emotions and manifest them into outcomes in the three-dimensional world, but she also can symbolize the other woman. She's passionate, she's fiery, and she can be the other woman. And, you know, given that she's right next to this another queen, that's kind of how I'm taking it in this reading. But the Queen of Swords has sort of been through a lot. You know, she's like been through the ringer, and she's wise, you know, and she's often like she can be like a single woman, but she's, you know, she could be like a widow or somebody who's just been through a lot of grief. And so she has really clear boundaries, and she doesn't really put up with any guff. She just kind of like, she sees things coming down the pipe and she calls them out and she nips them in the bud, because she's just like not going to deal with any nonsense. Like, that's who she is. So we have this other woman, and then we have this Queen of Swords who's just like kind of calling the situation out. And then we have the Ace of Wands right next to that, which is like this passionate, fiery new start. So it's almost like, and it's interesting because we've got the Queen of Swords falling out right under this Queen of Pentacles, who's just sort of been like oppressed forever. And it's sort of like she's finally just like, nope, not dealing with this anymore, I'm done. And then this Queen of Swords comes out. She draws all these boundaries. And right on top of that, we have like the Seven of Wands. So she's like standing her ground. She's just like, nope, I'm done. This is my boundaries. This is what I'm dealing with. I'm not dealing with. Like, here you go. That's it. That's just what it is, you know. And then like right on over this Two of Cups, we have the other woman, you know, this other woman, and we have the Ten of Wands, you know, which is like kind of like putting your burdens down. We're just like, whatever this three-way situation is, like, we're putting it down, you know, because we want to narrow it down to this, you know, like the arrow is going to hit the mark, you know, and this is what we're going for, you know. And then under this fiery, passionate new start, you know, it's just like we're going to have to move through all this chaos and conflict to get there. But we have the Nine of Wands. So it's just like whatever this chaos and conflict is, it's just like kind of like just like over it, you know, just don't want to deal with this anymore. And so like what's interesting that like came to me is like, it's like when I take the Nine of Wands and subtract the 5, you get the Four of Wands, you know. And when I take the Five of Wands and subtract the 1, you get the Four of Wands. So it's like somebody's like ready to set like a more stable foundation, like the Four of Wands. Like, we're tired of arguing, like we've been through the ringer, like we're this like wounded warrior. This is the wounded warrior card again. Like, we don't want to do that anymore. Like, we just want to have a passionate, fiery new start into like a new, like more stable foundation. Like, maybe like, I mean, that's kind of like the marriage, family, stability card. So it's just like we're just tired of having all this conflict, and we just want it to, like, you know, settle out. Is kind of what it's looking like. So I'm going to pull 3 cards from Ethereal Visions to just get some guidance about how we're going to move through this moment. But it's just like, it looks pretty climactic, you know. OMG. Okay, so I just had this pile that flipped out at the end. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Okay, so we got the Ace of Wands again. So this is the second Ace of Wands. So this fiery, passionate new start, you know, in love. And then we got the Queen of Cups. So this is like a loving, nurturing queen. You know, we got the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. So this is like not only this loving and nurturing, but also like financially stable, you know, like this is the best of both worlds, you know, like that's what fell out on top of that, you know. And so, and then when we have this, you know, tired of messing around, and we want to have a more stable foundation because we're tired of this, and we want to, you know, end up with the like Four of Wands. I had 3 cards that flipped out. So it's like the Six of Cups, you know, which is like your soulmate card, you know, like this is who you want to like be with, you know. And then we have the Ten of Cups, which is like a happiness, abundance, fertility, family card, you know. It's like this happy couple with a baby, and they're like all abundant, you know. And it's and then we have the Three of Pentacles, which is like it's like setting a new foundation, you know, which, you know, and this was all indicating over that, you know, Four of Wands energy. So it's just like, oh my gosh, like it's almost like this Queen of Pentacles that's been in the Divine Feminine reading forever is like about to settle down, or like that energy is coming in for her, you know, like it's just like, whoa, you know. Okay, so I'm going to pull from the Yogic Path just to end the reading. This is also a really beautiful deck, which I love, and maybe that'll be for next month. I don't know, we'll see. Because we're having fun doing these little giveaways. I did some free readings last month, and those were really fun. Like, I was really getting into it. So, okay, I'm going to pull one. All right. Oh my gosh. I feel like I just got this card too. Like I feel like I just got this. I feel like I just did. I'll have to find the reading where it came out, because I'm pretty sure it's the same one that came out. And yeah, it is. It's Manipura, the solar plexus chakra. You've come to a place where you know exactly who you are. Gone are the days of confusion and blurred lines between your truth and the expectations of others. You have grounded into your essence and built the foundation of your empowered self. You have had to let go of many friendships and relationships that were no longer serving you to get where you are, and it was all worth it. Now is the time to really go for what you want in your life. What do you care about? What lights you up? How do you want to serve? Meditate on these questions and take action on what comes up. So it's like, you're coming into alignment with your destiny, and your arrow is going to hit the mark. And I think the reading where this came up, you know, recently it's a reading called The Truth Trumps Oppression, which is interesting because, like, I feel like that was a theme that was playing in these cards. But it's a beautiful way to end it. All right, check in soon.